It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
Well now, aren't you a curious sight? If I'd had a mask to hide my bones as well as yours, maybe I'd still be walking around today. Where'd you get it? There can't be many curios like that in the world. Fresh out of the crypt, are you? No, we are abnormal. It's why we hide in the shadows. Or walk about like you still had flesh on your bones in your case. You even have yourself a silky mortal voice. How much do you think I get out? All I know is there are more like you. Well, not quite like you. But sorcerers collared on this tub, all heading to Fort Joy. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine. Still, you'd best keep that mask on. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
And now you are silent. If only all humans were so thoughtful. And now you are silent. If only all humans were so thoughtful. How crude. I've seen more intricate design in a butcher's slab. How crude. I've seen more intricate design in a butcher's slab. How crude. I've seen more intricate design in a butcher's slab. How crude. I've seen more intricate design. How crude. I've seen more intricate design in a butcher's slab. Junk. Junk. This again? An animal sty. Freight or food? Junk. Nice.
Did you expect a needle? Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin. Did you expect a needle?
click. This floor plate triggered something.
You there. Come here. Hey, get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentleman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull, and I guarantee we'll both get something out of the deal.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens, and then another.
Is my shift over? Are you here to relieve me? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Those idiots can't even walk straight without mucking it up. Was it Rick's? I bet it was Rick's. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. If it's all the same, I think it's best he comes with me. Some offence intended. You hear that, Emoire? We're taking a walk. Come on. And keep your hands where I can see them. Hurry it up, sorcerer. We haven't got all day.
That's one problem solved. A dead magister.
So much for a peaceful stroll.
And it won't be me.
empty.
Good thing I needn't worry about splinters.
Under lock and key.
And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up. And now you are silent. If only all humans were so thoughtful. This again?
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already...
Empty.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural.
No. You're alive, and you're having a conversation. You are on a ship, of course, but luckily for us both, we're merely sailing the plain old sea.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
No lesions.
Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here?
My, aren't we a meek little lamb? Perhaps I needn't have collared you at all, though it does look darling on you. So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because to answer your question, what this collar does is this. It makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
No lesions, no trauma. He was bled by magic. No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. No lesions, no trauma. He was bled by magic.
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. The pale young woman doesn't acknowledge you. She nods to the right without moving her gaze from the ground.
Quite averse to spending time.
The pale young woman doesn't acknowledge you.
Everything's spick and span. Nothing left to do, really.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around their collar and killed a man. Small ones this time, thank the gods. We'll find out who did it.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a magic. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just want to catch whoever did this before they hurt anyone else. It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural. no known associates.
Kid,
In fact,
been
he
down
seemed
by the
quite
room up the
averse
hall?
to spending time with the others.
No,
you sure about that?
no,
What's your name?
no.
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
She got eaten by a void woken.
Forget it. Kid, you been down by the room up the hall?
No,
Everything's speaking.
You sure about that?
no,
What's your name?
no.
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
She got eaten by a void woken.
Forget it.
It was one of them. I know it.
I'm trying to concentrate.
They
Do
don't
you
care
know
about-
Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen.
Carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
I'm here because I'm magic. Are you here because you're with...
Lad,
You look like my daddy. His name is Frida.
What are you trying to hear
Ah,
anyway?
there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. Oh, they're not so bad. At least not when they're treating me, Madam Josephine Gribble de Peeve, with due deference.
The children break out into giggles.
What? What's so
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flat.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? Like yourself, maybe. I don't mind the kiddies, usually.
It was one of them. I know it. They don't care
Nope,
about us.
trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Why won't you sing?
Be good, you scallywags.
Classify this slot as food. I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing
nothing else I can make, Your Majesty.
Name?
Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less.
The Divine Order wants to know. Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
This again?
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad? You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
Coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
I didn't do nothing, okay? It was one of them. One of your people. Hugh.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to
I didn't do nothing, okay?
Well,
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't...
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his attention to the
You look like a boy to me. Listen, if you're interested. Or get gone if you aren't.
turnips and water are all I was given.
The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And? Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
I always knew you'd turn up rot in a Ben nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine.
No indeed, boy. But...
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
We'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.